Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be reviewing the NOMOS Glashütte Tangente Neomatik 39 Platinum Grey, reference 143. This watch is available from nomosglashütte.com for €2,580. So firstly, let's look at the box that the watch comes in, and then I'll talk you through the other items one gets with a piece. So the watch comes in a watch box, which is gift wrapped to a high standard, as you can see. And very nice attention to detail, because even the gift wrapping has branded NOMOS Glashütte ribbon, so immediately one gets the impression this is a high quality German made piece. This is the watch box, as you can see, very nicely executed. One removes the lid to the watch box, and inside one gets a branded microfiber polishing cloth. I always think it's a nice touch to get a branded microfiber polishing cloth, irrespective of the price point of a piece. And inside the watch box we get a hard shell genuine leather travel case. As you can see, the travel case has the NOMOS Glashütte brand logo embossed, has a zip around the edge. So I'll show you the interior. As you can see, the interior is also fully lined with genuine leather. Absolute beautiful scent to it, high grade of leather, and there are two leather straps with metal poppers to secure the watch. So I really like this because it's a credible alternative to using the default option of a plastic or vinyl coated watch box, and I really like these genuine leather travel cases. Just absolutely gorgeous, flawless stitching throughout, very high grade. With regards to other items, one also gets this box, and I'll show you what it contains. Now initially, when this arrived, I wondered what it was, because it looks like a retro TV and it looks like a child's toy. But if you look at the reverse, you can see there's actually a viewfinder, and in the base of this retro TV one has a button one presses. So what you do is you look through the viewfinder while pressing this button, and it's actually a slideshow, and it has a series of slideshow pictures of inside the watchmaking facility at the NOMOS Glashütte factory. So one can see the watchmakers assembling the watches, and also high definition pictures of the movements. So it's very nice because you just look through the viewfinder while pressing the bottom button, and that advances the slideshow. So it's an innovative form of presentation, and I like it, and it gives a good insight into the watchmaking at NOMOS Glashütte. Lastly, one also gets this catalogue. As you can see, it's called the collection, and it shows in high definition pictures every single NOMOS Glashütte model in their current collection, and they've produced a lot of watches, really good quality high definition pictures. And in the back of it, it also gives high definition pictures and details every movement used in the watches, as you can see. So it's an absolute pleasure to look through the collection catalogue, because you can study both the watches and also the respective movements, the calibers used in each of the watches. NOMOS Glashütte make their own in-house calibers, and it's something I really like about their watches. So, with regards to the specifications of the piece, this is the NOMOS Glashütte Tangente Neomatik 39 Platinum Grey, reference 143. We have a 38.5mm case diameter. We have a 47.3mm lug-to-lug measurement, a thickness of 6.9mm, and a lug width of 19mm. The genuine Horween strap tapers from 19mm at the lugs down to the signed buckle and tang. As you can see, the buckle and tang is signed to a high standard with NOMOS engraved and mirror polished to a flawless standard, solid 316L grade stainless steel. Nice design to the buckle, because rather than just using the conventional buckle and tang, as you can see, it has a rectangular profile to it, which adds interest. We've got one sliding keeper to the genuine Horween cordovan shell strap. So I'll show you the underside to it, because it's one of my favourite aspects of the piece. As you can see, it's embossed with NOMOS Glashütte, and on the other side, if you look closely, it says handmade in Germany, and that's true, they hand make their straps. Now, this is one of the highest grade of leather straps I have ever seen on a watch. Now, I've reviewed over 200 watches on my channel. It's made from genuine Horween shell cordovan, which is top grade leather. So handmade in Germany, flawless stitching throughout. And the quality of the Horween leather is just incredible. It's absolutely gorgeous, beautiful sheen to it, as you can see. and it feels very soft and supple. It's not going to require any breaking in, but because it's made from Horween shell cordovan, it's going to be incredibly durable and last for a good length of time. So very high grade of strap, one of the best Horween leather straps I've ever seen on a watch. It's just incredible. With regards to the rest of the specification, we have a flat sapphire crystal with clear AR coating on the underside, and the clear anti-reflective coating does an excellent job of reducing the glare and the highly reflective nature of the galvanised dial. So the dial is the classic Bauhaus minimalist dial design, and we have serif font to the Arabic numerals, clearly legible, and I really like the serif font. It really does capture the essence of Bauhaus design and the beautiful symmetrical dial layout. So I like the fact the subdial is slightly recessed into the main dial at 6 o'clock. And we also have silver hands, which are rhodium plated. So the dial has a metallic silver finish, which is like platinum. It's galvanized and it's also rhodium plated. So both the dial and also the hands are rhodium plated. And the silver rhodium plated hands complement the metallic finish to the platinum coloured dial, which has a grey colour to it. Absolutely gorgeous. This is Bauhaus design personified. It really does capture the perfect Bauhaus dial. I like the fact the dial isn't over-branded with unnecessary text and specification. It simply says NOMOS Glashütte Neomatik at 12 o'clock, and then underneath the 6 o'clock subdial we have made in Germany. So the watch is entirely made in Germany. The movement is in-house, made by NOMOS Glashütte, and also even the strap is made in Germany. Now, with regards to the rest of the specification, we have an exhibition case back, which is also glazed with sapphire crystal, and it's one of the most low-profile case backs I have ever seen on a watch. It's incredibly thin. Now, the case back provides an effective hermetic seal to 50 meters, which is perfectly acceptable, and it does an outstanding job of displaying the movement used, which is the caliber DUW 3001, which is an in-house NOMOS Glashütte caliber, as you can see, absolutely beautifully decorated. With regards to the crown, it's a push-pull crown, coin edge finished, mirror polished to a high standard, and also signed with the NOMOS brand logo. So let's test the crown action. In the first position, the closed position, we can manually wind it because it's a push-pull crown rather than a screw-down crown. The screw-down crown provides an effective hermetic seal to 50 meters, which is perfectly acceptable for a daily wear piece. Pulling it out to the first click position is the final click position because we don't have a date complication. The movement has hand winding and hacking. As you can see, I've now hacked the movement. One can stop the second hand dead on the 6 o'clock subdial to set the time precisely to the second. Nice firm resistance to the caliber DUW 3001. One can feel the resistance of the gearing. It feels like a good solid movement. I like the feeling of it, both clockwise and anti-clockwise, no backplay whatsoever. It's got a good solid resistance to the gearing. Pushing it back in restarts the movement, and if you look at the 6 o'clock subdial, you will see the second hand begins to sweep around the subdial once again. So absolute pleasure to manually wind. One can manually wind it to top it up to its maximum 43-hour power reserve. Feels silky smooth. One can feel the tension in the mainspring gradually building up. Very well executed push-pull crown execution. So I'll give you a wrist shot and you can see how it fits on my 8-inch wrist. Now, this strap is a tight fit on my 8-inch wrist, so that's something to bear in mind. I can just do it up, as you can see. I can just engage the tang into the last hole in the strap, but as you can see, it's a fraction too short for my 8-inch wrist. If you have a 6 to 7-inch wrist, this will fit you no difficulty whatsoever. It would even fit up to a maximum 7.5-inch wrist. But if you have an 8-inch wrist, you'll need a longer strap. But for the majority of collectors, that will be no difficulty whatsoever, and it will fit you absolutely perfectly. So as you can see, it fits very snugly to the wrist due to the angular profile to the straight lugs, as you can see. Now, the one thing I dislike is the 19mm lug width. I think NOMOS Glashütte have made a mistake on this. I think a 39mm head of the piece would be better balanced. It would better suit a 20mm lug width. 20mm is the industry standard for 39mm watches, so really 19mm is a rather odd lug size. However, the 19mm Horween shell cordovan strap does work very well with the 39mm head of the piece because it is an incredibly low profile watch. It's one of my favourite aspects of it. This is only 6.9mm thick. It's the kind of thickness one would expect to see with a quartz powered piece, or alternatively a manual wind piece. It's very unusual to get an automatic powered piece at only 6.9mm thick, and that's thanks to the movement used, the caliber DUW 3001 being only 3.2mm thick, which is incredibly thin for an automatic. Usually with automatics, because they have a rotor on the underside of the movement, they need to be thicker. They need to have a thicker caseback, regardless of whether it's an exhibition caseback or a solid stainless steel caseback. The rotor needs to have clearance inside the caseback. So to get the overall thickness of the watch down to only 6.9, under 7mm, is an incredible achievement, and it's something that NOMOS Glashütte deserve full credit for. As you can see, absolutely gorgeous to look at on the wrist. I love the galvanised rhodium plated dial and also the rhodium plated hands. Nice metallic finish to it. The platinum grey dial has a lovely look to it, and also it contrasts very well with the recessed sub dial at 6 o'clock. Legibility is excellent. Clear AR coating is absolutely outstanding. Mirror polishing to the head of the piece is flawless throughout. Right. So let's discuss the movement used, because it's one of my favourite aspects of the piece. So as discussed, this uses an in-house NOMOS Glashütte caliber, the caliber DUW 3001. It has 27 joules and it features the NOMOS swing system escapement, which is highly efficient. 43-hour power reserve is perfectly acceptable. One of my favourite aspects of the caliber DUW 3001 is it is a very low profile automatic caliber. It is only 3.2mm thick. Now I'm going to put that into perspective for you. I previously reviewed the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date, which is one of the greatest Glashütte watches ever made. The main feature of the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date is it has an incredibly thin movement, hence the name Master Ultra Thin. The watch is very thin, and also the movement. Now that is a high tier piece costing €8,750. Very similar thickness to that movement used in the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date, because that is 3.3mm. It's very expensive for a watch brand to make very thin, low profile automatic movements. This movement used, the caliber DUW 3001, is actually thinner than the caliber used in the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date, which is a high tier piece. This movement is 3.2mm thick versus the Glashütte movement, which is 3.3. So they have actually made a movement which is thinner than one of the greatest Glashütte calibers ever made. And NOMOS Glashütte deserve full credit for this. It is incredibly expensive and incredibly difficult to make an automatic movement only 3.2mm thick. Now the positive of that is the overall thickness of this watch is only 6.9mm, and that is just incredible for an automatic. As I've detailed, 6.9 is the kind of thickness one would expect to see on a quartz powered or manual wind piece. One rarely sees this with an automatic, because as you can see, it has to have a rotor on the underside, and the rotor is incredibly thin. So it's just technically excellent. It's an example of NOMOS Glashütte's movement making capability. With regards to the finishing, it's some of the best finishing I have seen on a watch, and it really is comparable to the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date movements, which I've previously reviewed. We have beautiful milled stripes on the bridges to the movement. The main plate also has pelage finishing, blued screws for decoration, skeletonized rotor, and it's beautifully engraved, and the engraving is fully gilded on both the rotor and also on the bridge. If you look closely, you can see the engraving is fully gilded in a lovely gilt tone, so absolutely gorgeous. I love the milled stripes on the skeletonized rotor, and they complement the milled stripes on the bridges. And if you look at the main plate, you can see there is also beautiful pelage finishing and blued screws. So it's just absolutely gorgeous to look at through the sapphire crystal glazed exhibition caseback. Beautiful to look at, the movement, technically excellent, reliable, well proven, accurate. Now, it's regulated in 6 positions. And I can tell you that this one, when fully wound to its maximum 43-hour power reserve, is running consistently at plus 2 seconds per day. So outstanding accuracy. So 43-hour power reserve is very good. plus 2 seconds per day is excellent accuracy, and as you can see, the build quality, the quality control, the materials, the finishing are all 10 out of 10. This is an excellent high grade caliber DUW 3001. No negatives to the movement whatsoever. It has hand winding and hacking, and the movement is bi-directional winding. Right, so lastly I'll summarise the piece. What do I think of it overall? Well, when I'm considering reviewing a watch on my channel, the watch should meet 2 criteria. It should be both excellent quality and excellent value at the respective price point. So this is €2,580. One is getting a high tier quality piece and a high tier quality movement with the caliber DUW 3001, which is an in-house caliber, at a mid-tier price point. If this were a Swiss-made piece, I would expect the price to be in excess of €10,000. To put this into perspective, I regard it to be equal quality to the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Dates, which I previously reviewed, which is a Swiss-made piece, and that is a high-tier piece costing €8,750. In terms of the quality of the dial, the handset, the head of the piece, the finishing, build quality, quality control, they are all high tier level. And if you look at the decoration and the quality of the movement, the caliber DUW 3001, this is high tier level finishing. There is no discernible difference in the quality of this caliber to the movement used in the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date. So compare the prices. The Glashütte is $8,750. This Tangente Neomatik 39 is only €2,580, so a significant price difference. But this is an entirely made in Germany piece. The cordovan, the Horween shell cordovan strap is made in Germany. The head of the piece is made in Germany. The caliber is made in Germany. Every part of this watch is made in Glashütte. So it's an absolutely beautiful piece, and in terms of quality, it is equal in quality to the very best of high-tier Swiss pieces such as the Glashütte Master Ultra Thin Date. No negatives to the watch whatsoever. Excellent quality and excellent value. I'm going to declare it a champagne watch for lemonade money, and I'm going to highly recommend it to you for your consideration. I hope you've enjoyed my review of the NOMOS Glashütte Tangente Neomatik 39 Platinum Grey, reference 143. Please feel free to post your own comments below the video. Thank you very much.